Hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you how I turned this thrifted men's shirt into a baby doll dress. That's today on Refashioning with Rachel. First, while wearing the shirt, I made a mark for my waistline plus 1 centimeter, and since this is going to be a baby doll dress, I made the waistline a little higher than normal. And I cut off the bottom part and set it aside. I folded the top part of the shirt in half, making sure to line up all the seams, and I took a dress that fit me well and folded it in half the same way. I placed the dress on top of the shirt, lining up the folds and the shoulder seams, and I traced around the shirt, adding 1 centimeter for seam allowance. And after I cut that out, I had my bodice piece. I placed my dress sleeve on top of the shirt sleeve, lining up the folds in the sleeves, and I traced around the sleeve, adding 1 centimeter for seam allowance. And I cut that out. I made a mark at the center shoulder of that sleeve. I used that sleeve to cut out another one, and marked the center shoulder on that sleeve as well. With right sides facing, I pinned the sleeves to the bodice, starting at the center shoulder seam, and then working my way from each end of the armhole toward the shoulder seam. I did the same thing on the other side. And then I sewed the sleeves to the armhole. After the sleeves were attached, I folded the whole thing in half with right sides facing and pinned the underarm seams and the side seams. I did this on both sides. And then I sewed the underarm seams and the side seams all in one go, starting with the sleeves so that I could make sure that the ends of the sleeves were perfectly aligned. Then I turned the whole thing right side out and made a mark in the center front and the center back. Moving on to the bottom part of the shirt, I made 4 marks equally spaced apart on the side that did not already have a hem, 2 marks for the side seams, and a mark for the center front and for the center back. I made a basting stitch all the way around the top part of the bottom of the shirt. And I pulled on one of the threads to gather up the fabric enough to make it about the same width as the bodice. Then I put the bodice into the skirt with right sides facing and with the waists lined up. And I pinned the bodice to the skirt at the places where I made those little marks. And then I sewed that seam. Here I worked with 1/4 of the waist at a time, making sure that my gathers were evenly spaced from one mark to the next, and then moving on to the next quarter section of the waist. I find this to be the easiest way to attach a gathered skirt. And then, after I picked out the basting stitch, this project was finished. So here's a reminder of how this shirt looked before. And this is what it looks like now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and have a beautiful day.